Hey all you Churchville cool cats and kittens. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cool cat by artist Laurel Burch. We're going to use her as inspiration and make your very own custom cat using whatever materials you have at home. Let's get started. Cat. For this project you're going to need a piece of paper. I recommend using a pencil. I will be drawing with a Sharpie just so you can see what I am doing a little clearer. And then eventually you're going to need something to color with. So crayons, markers, pastels, whichever you prefer. To get started, you're going to start by drawing the head of the cat. Now this is a little bit different than the directions I posted online. So in case you like this one a little bit easier, or you just want to try this one out, be my guest. So for this one, we're going to start with our cat's head. And you want to make sure you have enough room for the body of the cat as well as the head. So I try to think of the head being up in the upper left-hand corner, and it leaves me letting room for my body. If I want my cat's body to go the opposite way, you can always turn your paper this way and have your head either at the left or the right side with your body at the opposite. To get started, I'm going to draw almost like an oval shape over here for my cat's head. My lines are going to come down and the bottom are going to curve up almost like an upside down heart. Then you can add some triangles at the top for ears and a line across for your top of your head. Next, it's to make your eyes as well as your nose. So to start with that, Laurel Burch usually uses some kind of a shape that it starts as a rectangle. You can end it as a triangle. You can end it like a rectangle. It is completely up to you. I'm just going to draw a line across mine like that and do two football shapes, like a frowny face and a smile. Frowny face and a smile to make my cat's eyes. And just like real people, they have shapes inside of shapes. But cat eyes don't always have a circle. They're actually sideways footballs that you can draw and then fill in. For your cat's mouth, then you can come down and it actually connects this line up with your nose, and you can add a little line there as well as little whiskers coming out from the side for your Laurel Burch cat. And she would sometimes put additional shapes or lines in her animals. So if you want, you can draw additional triangles inside your ears. You could put additional lines. Maybe there's a triangle shape underneath your eyes or even above your eyes, like eyebrows. Sometimes she would fill her cats with different patterns and designs as well, which we'll do more of later. But I think this is a good start for my head. Now my body, if I'm gonna make my cat sitting down, is gonna kind of come like a cat's arched back. Curve it down and try to fill up as much of your paper as possible with your cat. And then you can come down with your front legs. You can make this one kind of straight and with two little bumps at the side and just connect these two things together. You can turn this into like an S shape and then bring it back around and it can become your cat's tail. Then all you have to do is maybe add some lines to make these into paws and start to add your decorative patterns. Sometimes Laurel Burch would fill the whole cat with one pattern. Sometimes she would break it up into different things, and it is completely up to you. I think I'm going to fill mine with some flowers. So I'm just going to use some simple shapes, and I'm going to repeat this flower design. Sometimes my petals will overlap and go behind my tail. It'll make it look a little bit more three-dimensional and realistic. Sometimes you might only see half of a heart. Sometimes you might see all of it. Some parts may come off. And if you make a mistake, you can obviously erase. Since I am using Sharpie, I'm just gonna go with all of my little happy mistakes. Maybe inside of that, I'm gonna do some smaller flowers over the tail and fill those up with a smaller space. I could add additional patterns if I wanted to inside here, so nobody said you had to stick with one pattern. That's the cool thing about these Laurel Burch cats. You can kind of make them personalize into whatever you want. Then this background's looking kind of plain. Maybe I want to divide the background up into different sections or draw some straight lines across, and I could fill each line with a different pattern. Maybe I'll put each thing as a different color. Once you're done drawing your cat, it's time to color it. And this is where you get to make all those really awesome choices. I'm using my son Logan's really simple crayons, so you can do this really amazing artwork with crayons. And when you do start coloring, you want to try to stay inside your line. So no matter what color you're using, and you can start to apply the color. If you push a little bit harder, crayons can actually start to look a lot like pastels. So if you push really hard, you can do some really nice things. This is called burnishing. Anytime you push hard with a crayon or a pastel or a colored pencil, you're turning that into a burnish. You're pushing so hard. You can do some really cool things too by taking one color and coloring some parts. Say I do the top petals of all of these flowers with one color, and I'm staying in the lines, I'm going nice and slow. That way my artwork is gonna look really, really nice. And if I take another color that I think is gonna mix really well with this, maybe the purple, and I color down the bottom with the purple, and then I overlap them slightly by bringing the purple up into the pink, and then the pink down into the purple, this is called blending. You can blend these two colors together and make a whole new custom color where the two colors meet. This is a really cool effect to do in some spaces. One of my other favorite techniques that you can do is called layering. This is where maybe you don't have the color that you need because you only have an 8-pack of crayons like I do, and you want to do something like a little different. Maybe I want to make this flower up here a little bit darker. So I'm going to color very lightly in this petal with the black to make it a little bit darker, but then I want to make this a really nice dark red. So I'll take the red and I'll burnish with it over top, and those petals of that flower now are a deep dark red. So that's another really cool way to do this. If you want something on your cat to be white, then you guys know, just like I say in class all the time, you can just leave that part white. Whites of eyes, if you put clouds on your cat, that's a good thing to make white. Your teeth, if you wanted to put teeth on your cat, you can make that white as well. You can tell the big difference between that, because let's say I make this little triangle over here. That's what my regular red looks like without the black underneath. So I have a lot of different ways to color this. As long as you don't ever take the same color and make it the spot that's next to it, it should be okay. And if you do, just make sure you put at a different pressure. If I color this red really lightly around my triangles, look at how it still looks different than what I did before. As long as you stay inside the lines, go slow, and take your time and show excellent craftsmanship, I'm sure your cat will turn out to look absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see what you guys do with these cats. You can put them in any kind of scenario that you want. You can put any kind of decorative pattern or design on your cats. You can color them plain. You can do anything that your little heart desires. All you need is a pencil. And as long as you've drawn that nicely, it should work pretty great. Bye-bye.